It is extremely difficult. I
Yeah, I
think,
wanted to ask you.
yeah,
I wanted
people
to ask you
think
that.
about adoption and they're like, oh, that's so sweet. Bless your heart,
You
And
just go pick out a kid and you go home, right?
yeah, they think it's the cutest thing. And it is incredible, but it is excruciating. It is so hard. It's so difficult. It's not easy. Just looking for children. We're adopting through the foster care children. So we decided not to go pay for a kid. We
Hmm.
wanted to go to the kids that were the most rejected. And in the foster care system, those are the ones pretty much that you know, uh, their parents didn't want them, their foster parents didn't want
Uh-huh.
them. So then, we would have a chance to adopt them, and it's heartbreaking. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, it's like shopping for kids online. You don't pay for it; you just select them. But reading their stories, there was this one girl that we came across in Arizona. Her name was Emily, and her idea, like her dream of having a family was, I just want to be able to dance and I want to be able to go eat ice cream with my family.
Wow.
That, like, just thinking about it again, like, it did something to me. It messed me up because we do that normally. We're like, okay, like, let's go get ice
It's just,
cream. Let's go. It's
and
normal.
let's dance while we get ice cream.
Yeah, and her dream, like this is the little girl's dream, is to get ice cream. Like it was just rough, and you see that a lot, And then when you request for a kid, they send you their profiles
Uh-huh.
and the stuff that has happened to them. It's just mortifying. And there's all these protection laws and stuff, so I can't really discuss the
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that
yeah.
happens to them, but it's like things that you don't want an adult, you don't want the worst adult in your life to go through. And yet these little children go through it. So it's an extremely hard process. And then you select children that you think are perfect for you, and then you get rejected or it doesn't work out. And it's just a continual process of, uh,
Yeah.
uh. So it's not as glamorous as people think, but when you do get your forever child, it's gonna be incredible. And to be honest, and for those of you who are thinking about adoption, it really is about who you know. Unfortunately, I'm learning that the more connections that I have with adoption managers or specialists, the better chances I
Hmm.
have of actually getting paired with somebody that's a good fit for us. So there's all this stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah, I think I was telling you my sister was fostering teenagers,
Wow.
and just her telling me about what they have gone through before they got to her, and initially I don't think she was able to have kids or didn't think she would.
Mm.
And while she was fostering, she actually got pregnant and she had a baby
So,
while she was fostering.
yeah.
But it's complicated. It's super complicated, and I think she's had two or three different kids now, just kind of fostering, and they've been teenagers. So
That's,
not even starting,
God
from
bless
the
her.
baby, like they've experienced things. They've been
Yeah.
through a lot of
Well,
things.
also too, there's a big myth about adoption. Adoption, when you pay 50 grand for it, you can get an infant. When you try to adopt through the foster care system,
Hmm.
you're probably not going to get anybody under 9 years old. So,
Okay.
so that's something that's
And you have to have them what for like a year, right? To
yeah, before the official
about a year.
adoption. But yeah, I mean they're still with you. And it's crazy. I mean, even in that time period, like you can actually say, I don't want this kid, which would be the most devastating thing ever. So, like for us, my husband and I, we made a commitment, like we're not gonna say yes to any kid unless we're absolutely sure. And whatever happens, we're gonna rough it out, and that'll be our kid, and we will help
Hmm.
them through whatever. Because to
Yeah.
be potentially adopted and then given back, like I can't even understand the amount of trauma on top of everything else that they've been through for that. So we don't want to do that at all.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. Um, if anybody's got some questions for Jeannie. Drop them in here as we wrap up. Jeannie, this is killing me because if you remember, I used to be on the phone for like an hour. If I didn't do an hour interview, for me, it was a bad interview. And you'd always be like, who are you talking to? You sound like it's your best friend. So these shows really push me because I got to do like 25, 30 minutes. And I'm like, I got to get to the next person. I did that on purpose. Otherwise, I'd be here all night.
Exactly. We'll just be kicking it. Well, I do have a book coming out. And I talk about my life story. And I talk a little bit about just my journey of adoption and stuff. But that's kind of what I've been up to, working on a book. I'll be working on new music again for the new year. So in the midst of all this, none of it was in vain. I'm like, wow, I wrote half of my book during COVID. It was like, what a interesting time to be, alive and to be able to record what's happening and even just share from God.
Yeah, you had a little bit, of a lull in activities, so you had time. OnBeatMusic, who's actually on next, praise God for you and your husband. Definitely applaud you guys for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
If you stick around, OnBeatMusic, he's actually a stepfather to Obi. What is it? 4 kids.
Wow.
So he got married and now became a stepfather to 4 kids. So so it's cool. It's cool how this episode lined up, how it's just different topics of parenting and children. What music is Jeannie listening to keep her strong during the adoption process? That's interesting. Is there like an adoption playlist?
That's a good question. I've been listening to a lot of worship music for sure, just to keep my heart and my spirit right. Chandler Moore, I don't know if y'all know who he is. He just released an EP called Feelings, and it's actually it's good for people suffering through depression and stuff like that. Like I personally, I've had some low moments, but I wouldn't say I'm suffering from depression or anything. But it's been so good to hear somebody be so honest about how they're feeling, but also acknowledge that even though they're feeling like God isn't listening or he's not there, acknowledging that he actually is there and he is catching our tears and stuff like that. So right now I've been on Chandler Moore on repeat. That new Dayton just dropped. That's my brother, so I was listening to him.
Dayton's the homie.
Social Club, Misfits. I'll actually be talking to them tomorrow, so I've been jamming to them. So
we had Fern on here last week. Actually, really? Fern was here last week. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy for all that they're doing. Really, really worship music though. Brother Moss, that's my lifeline. That's where I just go to the well and just drink.
Drink from the well. So for you, what are your hopes and dreams for the future? Like, I know that's super vague, so it could really mean anything, but like, we're getting out of this year and what do you just want to see, whether your life, the nation, the world?
Yeah. So for me, honestly, I really want people to have authentic experiences with God. Nothing grieves me more than professional Christianity. And I do think that Western culture has become so good at it. And I really think that God has allowed us to be shaken in a way that really shows us what is in us. And my heart is that none of that's happened in 2020 will be wasted. Like us being locked down, us having to deal with our families. I pray for like real authentic Christianity where we're actually loving each other, where we're actually forgiving each other, where we're actually communing with God, like real one-on-one intimate time with God, not 5-minute devotions. And I'm not trying to mess with anybody's devotion time, but we have become those virgin 5-minute devotions, and that's it. There needs to be more. There needs to be true communing with God and with each other. And even if we're separated from each other, being able to stay connected and stay loving each other through stuff like this, through right now I'm looking to the side because my ministry's running a class as this is on, and
Oh,
my girls are on in the course. I have somebody facilitating, but they're communing, they're getting to know, more about God, getting to know more about their identity
yeah.
in God. That's my wish for everybody. Don't waste 2020. Don't waste what's happening. The pain that's happening is not in vain. Let's not waste it. Let's press into God and really grow.
Amazing. That's an amazing final word. That's a super dope final word. Everybody, as Jeannie mentioned briefly, she's got and I'll second it. She has a crazy testimony, an amazing story of where she was and where she's at now and how she got there all in between. I don't know if I've actually ever told this story myself. Maybe
Do it.
I've told different portions of your story depending on different things we were doing. But Jeannie's whole story is like a book, and now she has a book. But yeah, give her a follow, Jeannie. Aside from your website, where can everyone follow you at and listen to your music, hear everything?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram, Jeannie Ortega, Facebook. But JeannieO.com literally has you can connect with me there through everything. Instagram, Facebook, our ministry page, everything is on there. And you can literally text me on my website and it'll come straight to my phone. So do that. Let's stay connected. You have questions, you have prayer requests, like I'm in for it. I'm in for the messy ministry life. It's not all, book an appointment with my assistant so I can pray for you. Like hit me up and let's do life together. We're for it. Me and my husband, Ren.
That's what we're all about on this show. But Jeannie, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. I can't wait to check out your book and see everything you got going on.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to have you on the season finale. As I said, I had to bring out my friends for the season finale.
Oh, I'm grateful for that, man. I was wondering I thought I was ever going to get the call to get on here. So
you're 74 out of 75. That's not terrible.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I couldn't have you in the top 10. I had to get like other people out of the way and then be like, I know my friends, I can count on them. So I save all of them for the end. Because they won't say no. Let's kick into this, man. The same question as everyone else, man. 2020, pure chaos for many different reasons, many different factors.
Yeah.
I know you personally, it was a rough year too. So
yep.
What has been your 2020 like? How have you navigated through it?
Well, it's been interesting and very challenging, extremely challenging. Probably September was definitely the worst year or the worst month of my life. And yeah, from the beginning though, it wasn't as bad. I mean, we were like the kids were getting like anxious and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were just like cooped up in the house, and typically like during the summer out here in Canada, it's really big for Canada because Canada is like it's always cold like throughout the year. So summer is a huge deal to them, and you take away their summer, you're gonna have some problems. And for the most
and you
part,
too. You coming from Texas too, so summer was all you had.
Well, I mean, summer for me was all year round, bro.
Right.
So for me, I'm like looking forward to the winter. Like right now, I'm loving like the fact that it snowed the other day, so I was kind of like excited about that. I was like, hey, that's pretty dope. Love you too, Tyler. I see you. So for me, I think it was interesting to say the least. And yeah, I think the biggest chaos, which, I guess it was just unexpected, man, just everything that's been going on. And it was humbling to say the least as well, because to see like, even from the start, like in February, you had Kobe Bryant and Gianna, like his daughter, pass away. And that was just like the whole world stopped almost, and
that was like the catalyst that kicked off the year.
Intro of the year.
Yeah.
And to say the least, and we wouldn't have known what would have came after that. And I guess for me, I don't know, man. I guess for me getting deeper into what happened. I mean, me and my wife, a lot of y'all know, we were expecting our child, and we were 4 months into it. So, man, and I replay that day over and over a lot of times, and it's really hard. But just to see, the baby like pass from that was hard.